Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another video. Well, let's check it out. Let's see what I got for you right now. If you remember them back in the 50s, a little car that looked quite strange, but you may have mixed feelings. And if you know more about the history of that car, it was the car that saved that brand. But it was a reborn look to it. Well, if you like those type of videos that bring you back memories from the old days, but in the modern era, these are the type of cars that you like to watch. Now, as I'm speaking to you guys, I have a big smile on my face. Why is that? Because this car is too cute. I gotta say it. It's not a car that I may own because there's a few reasons. They're not sold where I live and I need a bigger car. And this is the type of cars that highway wise, I would be quite a little skeptical about driving next to tractor trailers or how they call it in England, lorries, or it's, but still, it's a car that you may want to go through around the city, zigzagging everywhere. There were electric cars, but let's give it a proper presentation. I think I said it before. It's a 143 scale, 2024 Microlino. Now, the first thing I was surprised about that I think there have no connections to that this car it's not has no involvement with BMW. I'm guessing they must have gotten their BMW how you call it design cues. Obviously they have to because they look exactly like the BMW Isetta, but I don't think well they are not built in a BMW factory. These are assembled in Italy. The company's name is Micro Mobility System, and these cars started being produced since 2022 till today's date. They're still being sold. I mean, the front end is like a replica of the BMW Isetta. The rear end, very much too. Maybe the lighting in the rear end is different from the original one, but it's very minimal. And I've read that in some countries in Europe, these are doing pretty well. Example, in Switzerland, it says here that it's the number one in their in their market, in the whole Swiss market. It says the Microlino holds the leading position in Switzerland as the most registered vehicle in the L7E category. I'm guessing it's compared to like the Citroen Ami or the Fiat. I think the Topolino came out, which I'm dying to find one in a 143 scale. These cars were, back memories that bring everyone. I wasn't born in the 50s, neither the 60s or the 70s, but I remember seeing these cars in person because they lasted for a very long time. And nowadays, they are very much a classic, a very expensive classic for the size. You're paying top money for little cars like this nowadays. So these little microlinos are very much attractive. They're not sold in all around the world. I know they're sold in Europe. I'm not sure where else in the world. They're not sold in North America. I think they're mostly made it for the European market. I'm guessing because this is a type of car that it's more for like a city go around the city type of car. These are electric cars, by the way, electric motors, a 12.5 kilowatt motor, a battery size of 5.5 up to a 15 point kilowatts kWh, and the range went between 93 to 228 kilometers, which I'm not sure how much that is in miles, but I would probably say around maybe the top of the line, probably about 110, 120 miles. I'm going to probably say 100. Let's keep it safe. That's the top of the line. And bottom part is probably about 50 miles. So the numbers are very, very limited. Around town, typical car. That that's the biggest thing that may not work in the US market is because we have such a long, vast length of space between cities that if you're going to travel between one city to another, you have to be charging this car 3 and 4 times just to make a 2 and 3 hour trip, which will turn out to be a 5 hour trip. So these are, that's the main reason I think these cars will probably not do very well in other parts of the world. Now they bring a gasoline motor into it. Maybe they could probably pull it a little. The Fiat 500, they started pretty good in numbers. The same thing with the Smart, and they were sold in America and they were very small. This one probably looks even smaller, but those were small too. All right, everyone. Just before I forget, this is a resin model and it's made by Avenue 43, which is literally like a quite rare brand, not very popular. It's not the they're very selective in the models they make. They don't make that many, and they make just rare models, literally concept and some rare models. These are rare models right here. All right, everyone. I'm gonna let it go around a few times, and I'll be right back. All right, everyone. One thing I wanted to share with you also, I'm reading that in Italy, where it's being built, they're not building them in big numbers. So when I read before about in Switzerland, they're like the number one in that group of cars. They probably go in most of them to those countries because it says here that as of 2024, Micro Mobility Systems, which is a company building the Microlino, announced that approximately 3,700 Microlinos vehicles were produced. So it means that, they're not selling in big numbers. It's not like you're expecting to be the new car of the future. I mean, it could be, but in a very long run, I mean, long extended timing. A lot of people are still kind of skeptical buying electric cars, especially, if you're going to travel long distances. All right, everyone, let me know what you guys think about the Microlino. Do you think it's the car of the future? Do you think it's a car that could do a comeback and put these little micro cars back on the map and make everyone fall in love with them again? Back in the 50s, they were popular. And by the way, just so you know, before I forget, the BMW Isetta, if you know a little history with that car, as little and insignificant it may look, it actually saved BMW from going bankrupt back in 1959. So as you're driving those nice BMWs 750s and those fancy convertibles from BMW, remember that little Isetta is the one that have let you drive those vehicles today. I know you bought it, you paid for it, but that model maybe never would have been made unless that little Isetta existed back in the 50s. After saying that, let me know what you guys think about these cars. Are they sold in your country? Don't forget to give me that beautiful thumbs up. Thank you so much. And don't forget to click and subscribe and click the bell next to the subscribe button that will remind you when I'm posting more videos. Take care of yourselves more than ever, and goodbye.